Hello there and welcome to my workshop. Today we're going to be using the CNC Router and we're going to be doing a Vbit carving. We're going to prepare the G codes with CARVECO Maker Plus. So I'll show you how to do that. So we have CARVECO Maker Plus running in the background. So to get our design into Maker Plus, we just simply drag and drop it straight in. So this is the first dialog box that comes up. Now this is simply communicating with you with CARVECO. Now it's asking you, where do you want the zero of the job to be? Now in this particular case, I'm going to place it in the middle because it's just that type of job that I prefer to have it in the middle. I'm going to select the size of 250. And we're working in millimeters, and we can select OK and then go full screen. Okay, it looks a little messy, but that really doesn't matter because CARVECO will make sense of it all. Now you can see the rulers are turned on here, and this is indicating to me that this is in the 3D screen. To move from the 3D screen to the 2D screen is just simple, and it gives you a better representation in the 2D screen. And this is totally a 2 or 2.5D machining operation, so we don't need 3D screen. Okay, so what we need to do with this is we need CARVECO to trace around all the black area. So there's one tool that will do it, and that's up here, and that is the bitmap to vector tool. So we'll choose that. We need to reduce the colors in this because there's 250 colors in there, believe it or not. And to prove it, there it is there, 255 different colors in there, every shade from white to black. So we need to reduce that down to 2 basic colors, if possible. So let's see what we can do. Now as I slide this slider bar down, you'll notice the picture change and go a little pixely maybe. So actually, let's come down to, I'm going to go to 4, and I'm going to show you how to join the colors up. In other words, other parts of grey that are here, that if I took it all the way down to 2 colors, it'd be, I'd lose some clarity there. So I'm going to show you how to merge some of these colors manually. So we're going to apply that, and we're going to, so now down here, if I can move my little dog out the way, down here you'll see there's 2 boxes. One's a black one, one's a grey one. Now so we need to alter that first. So what we're going to do, we're going to go into the white square and right click it. So that puts it underneath the black color. So we have the primary color is the black. That's what we want it to trace around. So now the 2 greys that are left there, I'm going to add them into the black, and simply you just go hover onto the color that you want to join up or merge to the black, and just left click and move it into the black, and you'll see a little line comes there saying, well, they're joined. So this one here, I'm going to go over top of the white into the black and join that. So now those three colors there are joined, and it's gone a little pixely, but it's not too bad. So I'll explain some of the numbers up here. Now, speckle size. Now, speckle size is just telling CARVECO that anything under, if you notice here, well, that one is joined up there, but that is one single pixel. Okay, so if that little pixel there was on its own out here, this number is telling CARVECO anything less than 2 pixels, ignore it, don't draw around it. Now the smoothness, now 75%. Now this is a normal figure, and I never actually alter this myself. I always find it, you know, the program is set with that, and I've never really had to alter it. It's fine. But if you do, if you drop the figure down, what it'll do is make it sharper. In other words, the lines will be more square. Okay, so the higher this number, the more rounded, you know, the more even it will follow around. And I'll show that to you now. So just press create vectors, and you see it's all followed it all nice and rounded, and there's no sharp lines there, which is exactly what we want for a Vbit carving. Okay, so we're going to accept that. I'm going to centralize that. That's easily done. You just press the left and right mouse key together and just drag it down. Now, there's a couple of little things we can do here, because we need to check to see whether there's any loops or any overlapping lines, and you won't be able to machine it. You know, CARVECO just won't allow the toolpath to be written. So, there's a slider bar over here that we can turn the contrast right the way down to near 0, not quite totally off, and you can give it a good sort of look to make sure that you can't see anything obvious that you would have to go in and manually put it right. But there's also a tool up here called the Vector Doctor that you can ask CARVECO, well, check all the vectors to make sure that they're okay to machine. So you ask it to identify any loops or crossovers, and if there was, it would come up with a little red cross in here somewhere, and as it happens, there's none. So we're okay now to go and prepare the Vbit carving strategy. So we can come out of that now, and a lot of people sort of say, oh, where do you get the toolpaths from? Well, I'll show you. You just go over here to toolpaths and click on it, and they all come up here. And CARVECO have specific toolpaths and wizards. I'll show you a wizard now. Not that one up there. Okay, this is a wizard or a communicational. In other words, the program's communicating with you to find out exactly what you want it to do. So we have our vectors selected because they're purple. So it's the selected vectors we want to machine. And it's a Vbit carving. Start depth, maximum depth. Well, I'm going to set a maximum depth here So I'm going to limit the depth, because we don't want to go in all the way through. Some of these are quite wide, and this is the tool, the Vbit carving tool. It's an industrial one, and so this is the one we're going to be using, and this is quite capable of going down 25 mil, I suppose. And of course the material is only 18 millimeters, which is 3/4 of an inch. But you know, we don't want it to go that deep, so we're going to limit the depth. So you limit the maximum depth to, I would say, 12 millimeters, half an inch. Okay. And the next tolerance, we're not going to worry about tolerance. We're just cutting into a bit of MDF actually. So we're going to choose a tool now, and metric, 90°6 mil. No, it's not one of those. Wood and plastic. Rough end 2D finish. V carving. Here we go. And our particular V, it's a 90° 32 millimeter. That's nearly 1.5 inches. And we're going to accept that. Now we're going to go in here and we are going to alter the settings, step over 8 millimeter. It's a little bit harsh, I think. So we're going to go step over 3 millimeter, step down 6 millimeter, 6.5 millimeter. Yes, that'll be okay. Maybe a little bit much. So what we're going to do, we're going to say step down. Now there was maximum depth per single cut. We're going to say is going to be 4, because then the maximum cut then to 12 millimeters, it'll do it in 3 cuts, which is not putting any strain on the tool or the machine. Feed rate 42, that's fine. 15,000. I'm going to leave it at 15,000 because in the controlling program I can raise that up if necessary. It all depends on how the job is going. This is optimum. You know, it's set at optimum, but you know, you can change it if you wish. Now let's have a look. Okay, the maximum depth is just worked it out for us is going to be 11.56, 11.5 millimeters maximum. So we're well within the range that we want to work in there, which is fine. Safe said 5 millimeters, that's okay. Let's set up the material now. And material is 18 millimeters. And the model position is in the top, and we're going to make the 0, which is the material 0 on the top of the material. I always put it up there. So we're going to press OK, and we're going to name this now. Okay, I'm going to calculate now. It's calculated it. Now good practice, what I always do is I simulate it. So if I can see then if something's, you know, amiss, not quite right, before you go and muck up a whole piece of material. So we're going to go to the 3D screen, and we're going to choose a view that we can see what's going on. Turn off the rulers and get rid of them. So to turn off the rulers, you just go up here and turn them off, and we will simulate. and we'll simulate them fast and say simulate. And okay, so there's our design. We've run our simulation now, so now we're going to save it, and I'm going to show you how to do that, because I've had a lot of people asking me that they can't find their machine on the CARVECO listing of outputs. Well, I'll show you. So we go to save, and we're going to browse for our save it in here, file name. I'm going to put this as test 3, test 3. Now then, this is all the different machines that CARVECO has specifically or can specifically write G-code for. Okay, so you can scroll through these. There's literally hundreds. If your machine isn't on here, don't worry, because all you need to do is scroll down to this area here where it says, in our particular case, G-code millimeters tap. Okay, well, and if obviously if you'd written this in inches, it would be G-code inches tap. That is the basic G-code all machines understand. So if your machine isn't listed in there, that is the code that you would put it in, and you won't have any trouble at all. I'm going to save it, and we're going to come out of that. So now we'll go to the machine and we'll machine it. Okay, I've got my 00 set up in the middle of the piece of work, and it's all set in Mark 3, ready to go. So all I've got to do now is set it off. Well, that turned out to be a pretty nice project, and I hope you enjoyed it as a demonstration using CARVECO Maker Plus. There are 3 programs within the CARVECO range: CARVECO Maker, CARVECO Maker Plus, and CARVECO. And don't forget, at the bottom of this video, or underneath this video in the comment section, and at the end of this video in the credits, there will be a discount code for all of the CARVECO products, which is ongoing. So thank you for joining me today, and I hope you come back and join me again. Don't forget, like and subscribe. And on this channel you will see everything to do with CARVECO, CNC routing, CNC milling, CNC lathes, and of course lasers and wood turning. So there's quite a lot. There's over 400 videos now I've released on 2 channels. So anyway, thank you for joining me, and it's bye for now.